We have a rule here that you always have a second man on the footplate. So normally the second man takes this side, looks after the brake and probably the clutch, and the driver looks after the gears and the throttle, and that works quite well. So here we have the gears, and that's the throttle. This is the added vacuum brake lever, and then this is the handbrake lever, which is the only brakes on the locomotive, and the clutch pedal down here on the floor. Two clutch pedals, they're both connected together so that either side can operate it. Dashboard on there, that's original. Instruments were restored, and we also fitted vintage look wiring. So the wiring is the fabric covered, but it is actually modern. It's all fabric coated, well, most of it, but all of that's on show and clipped on with the copper braid clips to make it as authentic as we could.
Now, I suspect you both having a hand in vehicle restoration, this sort of thing came second nature, really, with keeping it looking all that.
Yeah, pretty much. And to be honest, it was easier to restore this locomotive in many respects, apart from its size and weight. I mean, everything on this you have to use a crane to lift up, even the buffers. But the thing is, it's made of thick metal. You're not trying to weld tin foil like you are on a car or glue plastic together, This is solid, good solid metal. So in that respect, it's easier.
Right, well, let's get this thing started then, shall we? Talk us through the starting procedure of it.
Well, the startup procedure is fairly simple. It's electric start. There's the electric start lever, and we can put the electric start on, and we put that on, and you'll notice you get a red light on the dashboard, just like a car. When we first started to start it, we were rather concerned. It took a long time to get the oil pressure up, because the oil drops down into the sump, and it has a long way to come. So we have added a little cheat, and this cheat is this little gadget here, which is this button. And if you watch the oil pressure gauge, what we can do is we can pre-pressurise the engine. There's a little electric pump, and you'll see that needle come up in a moment. Just wait for her to come. There she goes. And we can get 40 pounds or 35 pounds oil pressure. And that just means that you reduce your startup wear, where there's no oil in the engine. So once we've done that, all we now need to do is we set the engine to the run position. It won't stop. That's just your diesel stop arrangement. So that's in the run position.
Press the start.
And then we press the starter. There she goes. So it's as simple as that. A lovely machine. Red light's gone out, means she's charging. If we're operating at night, we've got a dashboard light there, and we've got an interior light so you can see to eat your sandwiches. She will go up to about 800. Pads were missing, so this brake pad here suspiciously looks like a Subaru front brake.
Yeah, right.
So
you can adjust the tension on the spring there, just to make it
so it doesn't float around,
right.
but it's not too stiff to move.
Right.
And it works beautifully.
Right.
As I say, and then the vacuum we had to put in. We can get a vacuum. There we go. Makes vacuum very quickly. Well, without coaches on.
Yeah.
Makes good vacuum. Anything above 18 is fine. And that was put on for the coaches because it's a requirement of preserved railways. If you're carrying passengers, you must have a train brake. This machine actually is quite old, built in 1934. So it's actually got a mechanical klaxon instead of a horn. How about this? You'll love this. Beautiful, isn't it? And the klaxon was on it. We restored it, but it didn't sound nice. So the owner found an identical klaxon with a different note. This one's much nicer. Sounds really nice outside.